The Galaxy A53 establishes the principles of an excellent device while achieving a balance between capabilities and value. What upgrades does Samsung provide looking at Galaxy A53 versus A52s? And is the A53 a worthwhile purchase? Let's look at Galaxy A53 versus A52s Camera, Performance and Speed Test. Shocking results. Don't buy Galaxy A53 yet. The A53 is shaping up to be surprisingly similar to the previous A52s. But there sure are some differences. Let's delve into it. Samsung Galaxy A53 versus A52s. The new A53 5G and older A52 5G are both plastic phones with 6.5-inch screens, a similar-looking camera array on the rear, and an optical in-display fingerprint scanner. Hardly anything has changed concerning appearance. However, the new model has better cameras and a massive battery inside, and it is also a bit thinner and more fashionable. The new phone is missing a headphone jack, but many people won't even notice that. They have dual speakers, a punch-hole display, Gorilla Glass on the front, and IP67 certification. Although hardly anything has changed with how they look, a different chipset is at play for the A53, which we'll be looking into shortly. Galaxy A53 versus A52. Display. In terms of displays, the Galaxy A53 and A52 5G are nearly identical. Both have a 6.5-inch AMOLED FHD plus 120Hz screen with HDR10+ certification and Gorilla Glass 5. Although it had a lower 90Hz refresh rate, the A52's 4G-only model also had a display that was the same size. They are all offered in various vibrant colors, such as black, white, and blue, but some are exclusives, such as the Galaxy A52 5G's Awesome Mint and the Galaxy A53 5G's Awesome Orange.
How interesting!
Galaxy A53 versus A52 chipset. Performance. The chipset is one of the main differences between the new Galaxy A53 5G and the older Galaxy A52 models. One of the first devices in the A series to choose an Exynos processor over a Snapdragon one is the Galaxy A53, which features Samsung's mid-range octa-core Exynos 1280 chipset manufactured on the 5nm node. Two performance-oriented Cortex-A78 cores running at 2.4 GHz are included in the octa-core Exynos 1280 chipset, along with two power-saving Cortex-A55 cores. For graphics processing, it is connected with the Mali G68 megapixel 4 GPU. Regarding the Galaxy A52 variants, several different chipsets are in use. While the Galaxy A52 5G is equipped with the Snapdragon 750G chipset, the Galaxy A52's runs on the Snapdragon 778G. The Galaxy A52's 4G model receives a Snapdragon 720G processor. The SD778G easily outperforms all the other processors mentioned in many resource-intensive tasks, such as gaming. In various benchmarking programs, such as Geekbench 5, Antutu, and others, the Snapdragon 778G outperforms the Exynos 1280. However, the Exynos chip is more power efficient than the Snapdragon 750G because it is built on a more recent technology node. But because the Snapdragon 778G is such a great chip, you're better off getting the A52s if you routinely push your phone to its performance limits. If you want to continue seeing our videos, you should click the subscribe button before it vanishes because our videos are only available to our subscribers. The Exynos 1280 again falls short in terms of performance when pitted against the Snapdragon 750G. Even though there may not be as much of a performance difference as compared to the SD778G, the 750G produces superior multi-core results overall, giving it a slight advantage in many workloads, including gaming. When comparing the efficiency of the Snapdragon processor to the Exynos 1280 SoC, which uses 8nm transistors instead of 5nm, the Snapdragon chip once more suffers. The Exynos 1280 can hardly compete with the Snapdragon 720G. which powers the Galaxy A52's 4G version. Meanwhile, Jay-Z says, "I don't have any fear of working with Samsung because I'm not gonna let them put a phone on my forehead. That's just never gonna happen." Samsung promises longer-term software support for the new A53, even though the Exynos 1280 can't compete with the Snapdragon 720G. We'll talk about that afterward. Galaxy A53 vs A52 Camera. The Samsung Galaxy A53 camera and the A52s are identical in terms of cameras. The quad camera system on both phones consists of a 64-megapixel f1.8 camera with OIS, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and 5-megapixel depth and macro cameras. Even the 32-megapixel f2.2 front selfie camera is the same. Samsung's mid-range phones offer relatively good picture capabilities, so the A53 should be pretty strong in this aspect despite no hardware advancements. If camera performance is your priority, you might want to select the A53, as the image quality won't be that good with the A52s. Galaxy A53 vs A52 Software. For its mid-range and high-end smartphones, Samsung provides the best software support. Samsung promises to give the Galaxy A52 3 years of OS updates and 4 years of security patches. What this means is if you already have the A52, you'll get the Android 14, which is slated to arrive in 2023. The Galaxy A52 came pre-installed with Android 11 and One UI 3.1. With the A53, Samsung promises prolonged software support, up to 4 years, and 5 years of security updates. It has One UI 4.1 and Android 12 out of the box. Therefore, it will get OS updates up to Android 16. Galaxy A53 vs A52 Prices. The Samsung Galaxy A53 5G is available in the US for $450. That is less expensive than the Galaxy A52 5G's $500 starting price. Even though the A52 5G is no longer on sale on the Samsung website, you may still purchase one for $450 or less. The Galaxy A52's 5G, on the other hand, is the most profitable choice compared to other smartphones because it can be purchased for about $350 in the US.
He was an exciting guy.
Regarding performance, the Galaxy A52's outperforms the Galaxy A52 models that came before it and the Galaxy A53 5G, which is powered by the Exynos 1280. Despite having a slightly greater battery than the Galaxy A53 5G, the A52's compensates for this shortcoming by including a charger in the box. In this video, our focus was on comparing the two phones. However, you'll love to see the A53 in whole, so we recommend our next video, Samsung Galaxy A53 5G Unboxing Impression. Slightly perfect mid-range phone quick review you should know about. Thanks for your time.